What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Resident Evil Revelations 2. Resident Evil is a series that's had a lot of ups and a lot of downs over the years, but with Revelations 2 they're really trying to recapture the original fear and charm of earlier games while also keeping with the great controls of all the newer titles. To do this, they bring in a new story set between the events of Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6. Our heroes are stranded on a prison island filled with monsters, being forced through a horrible maze of puzzles by a voice on a radio that calls herself the Overseer. To go with this bizarre new plotline, we also have a radically new playstyle. You will still be wandering through dark, creepy places with a gun and a flashlight, but now it's all done with an asymmetrical co-op bent. The game is split into alternating sections, playing as two different teams of people. First, you're going to be playing as Claire Redfield and Moria Burton. Claire handles the shooting while Moria handles the flashlight. Now, this sounds like an uneven mix, but they actually balance it really well. Moria's flashlight can be used to stun enemies if shined in their eyes at the right time, or it can be used to find hidden items around the map that normally would be inaccessible. She also has a crowbar to bash the crap out of monsters from behind. Claire, on the other hand, is more of the normal playstyle, shooting, running, and gunning to try and keep Moria safe at all costs. The other half of the game you'll be playing as is Barry Burton and Natalia, a strange psychic child Barry finds when he arrives on the island. Since Barry Burton spent so many years in the military, he knows to show up to a situation with the proper firepower, so as soon as he steps off the boat, you're going to notice he has some insanely powerful guns. Natalia, on the other hand, does not fire any weapons. She has the ability to throw bricks here and there, but her main ability is that she can sense the infected through walls and also crawl through small gaps to unlock doors. These two teams play radically different, but complement each other so well. The combination of a well-armed person with a special ability person makes for some really fun situations as you play through the campaign. There are times when I'll be playing as Claire and I'm trying to defend Moria while she uses the crowbar to pry bars off a door as fast as possible while I fight off the zombies. Or if I'm playing as Natalia and I've snuck into a small gap and I'm trying to unlock a door while creeping past monsters, having to outthink my way in tough spots. The game is broken down into these interesting episodic type segments, with you playing as Moria and Claire at the start, followed by Barry and Natalia at the second half. Normally you're exploring the same area or a similar area, but handling everything in a very different way. Originally, these episodes were released week by week online, each one having a dramatic cliffhanger to try and draw you in for the next one, but thankfully now that we have the box release, this contains the 4 episodes originally released online, and also 2 additional bonus episodes exclusive to this version. The story in this game is really good, with lots of twists and turns. Each episode peels back the layers of plot a little bit more and reveals a little bit more about the place we're trapped, more about our captor, the Overseer, and more about our characters' tormented pasts. I was so fascinated by the mystery of the prison. Finding these diary entries of people who died on the island really instills terror while wandering around and trying to figure out what happened here. The monsters that are hunting you in this game are very similar to previous Resident Evils, mostly creepy zombie-type enemies, large monsters with hanging flaps of skin, or zombie dogs. One of the only major flaws of this game is the poor graphical design choices that were made during development. The monsters are all frankly very cheesy, and they all look like they're wearing the exact same pairs of clothes. Even the biggest guy with a hammer stops being scary if you see 5 identical guys that all look exactly the same. One thing that keeps horror games like Resident Evil really truly scary is that the monsters used to be people. They're real humans, twisted into these macabre murder machines against their will. But these cartoonish bad guys that you fight over and over again kind of rob you of any humanizing features these goofy creatures may have once had. The levels are all really big and well built, though rather empty. Most levels will have you running around trying to solve puzzles and shoot bad guys, and it's hard to fight off the feeling that you're just stuck in a tiny shoebox of basic programming. There's no feeling or ambiance. Many of the environments feel rather stark and naked, with no real personality involved. The controls in this game are probably the best in the entire series. To keep tension high, all inventory and item use is done in-game, messing with bandages to stop bleeding, or trying to make new throwing weapons to keep monsters at bay is all done while you're running around in the field. I also really liked the sneaking mechanic, but unfortunately it wasn't in there as much as I'd like. Most of the game has you fighting against enemies and trying to get the best headshot to save bullets, but occasionally you're actually able to crouch, sneak up on foes, and take them out as silent as possible, and I really liked those few spare fleeting moments they snuck in there. This game also has multiple endings, which really increased the replay value for me, because I wanted to actually try and get the best ending. Depending on how you fight certain bosses or how you choose to tackle certain puzzles will affect the ending you get, and if you get the very best ending, you'll unlock the bonus chapters. Along with this main campaign, you also have Raid Mode, a more arcade style of gameplay. You're dropped into small set-piece style levels from throughout the Resident Evil franchise, and you have to kill all the monsters and escape in the shortest amount of time possible. Beating these levels will give you experience to level your character up. Guns and items are also found on these maps, so you can customize your loadout as much as possible, and I really thought it was a lot of fun. You have a lot of characters to choose from, and leveling up each one, trying out the different levels, and really tackling all the weirdness was fun, but at the same time, I'm disappointed that at launch we didn't have online co-op unlocked. As of the recording of this video, online co-op for Raid Mode is announced for March 31st in America, and honestly, I think this should have been here already, mostly because it hurts this game so much to not have that ability unlocked, because the gameplay is really fun, but anything is more fun with a friend. So you've heard the ups and you've heard the downs, but let's head over to the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Resident Evil Revelations 2 an 8 out of 10. The few design flaws are easily overlooked by the great controls and stellar story. This new gameplay style for Resident Evil is really interesting, and I hope they stick with it, because Capcom, you really know how to do co-op games, you really know how to do team balance, and I hope you really play on your strengths, because this is a beginning of a great new chapter for Resident Evil. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a like, leave me a cool comment, and subscribe, because it really helps the channel out. But I want you to do me an even bigger favor and keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.